Well, it looks like it is. The Illuminations are back on in Blackpool for the winter season. Now it's very unusual to have the lights on in winter. They usually go between September and the first week in November. So I think to cheer people up, the lights are on. I'm going from the end of near Squires Gate or Stargate, which is in South Shore, and this is that end, which is different from my earlier videos, which were well, at the other end, and you can see the tower there in the distance. So just passing under the pleasure beach, and which you can't see because that's in darkness actually. So this is the pleasure beach part, and it's busier than you would expect in the middle of December at the moment. I think because the Illuminations are a sort of socially distanced event anyway, so people can come to these in their cars without any fear of passing the Rona onto anyone. Especially if you come in one car per person, you can blithely sail along the Illuminations without fear of recrimination. So what we'll notice at this south part is just passing South Pier now, which is on the left. So we're going into the Beaver Brooks part. One of the signs there telling us we're in a high alert area. There's South Pier, all closed and knackered, and going under the Beaver Brooks sponsored part of the Illuminations. So what we see at the moment is all the hotels, which would normally be absolutely packed and full at this time of year, are now empty. The Viking Hotel there on the right, and the Queen's Hotel completely empty because of the Rona, and it's certainly desecrated the area. The government's response to this since March, when we were told that it'd be 3 weeks to flatten the curve, we're now 8.5 months in, and there's no sign of it abating. So so much for 3 weeks. So yeah, all the hotels are closed, and all the businesses are virtually on their arse with the latest moves from the government. It's destroyed a lot of people. It's hard to say how an area like this will recover from the Rona. So we've got on the left there, we're coming up to Central Pier, which you see the big wheel, the Ferris wheel there on Central Pier, and just passing St Chad's Hotel, which is empty. I mean, that was never too busy anyway, but now it's really not busy. Now the Lindeen, that's the hotel that's always busy, and it's completely empty and destroyed. So I hope the destruction is temporary. So there we've got again the Ferris wheel on the left, and right in front of us now, in the middle of the screen, we've got the Blackpool Tower, erect and proud, resplendent in red and white, and some pumpkins have just passed under, I think, illumination wise. We're just approaching, just passing the Royal Windsor Hotel on the left, and the Manchester pub on the, sorry, not on the left, on the right. The Manchester pub on the right, closed and desecrated, and still we wait for a word from the government which will say, okay, you're all right now, we're going to do herd immunity like Sweden did, and everything will be okay. So we're waiting for that word. It's interesting to note that Sweden, with the herd immunity, had no more adverse effects than we've had here, with all the lockdowns and the social distancing. Hey, look at the big wheel there changing colours. It's got a great light show in its own right there on the left. So that's in the middle of the pier. In the middle of Central Pier is the big wheel, and coming into one of the few businesses that's still open in Blackpool, and has been probably since 1870, which are the horse and cart things, the carriages. Nice pumpkin kind of carriage, which I think is a nod to Cinderella, and the horse-drawn carriage. So here we are now, right in the middle, in front of the very closed Central Pier, where again there's usually shows on and people milling around. This time in Blackpool is what's called turkey and tinsel time, which means it's an homage to Christmas. So turkey and tinsel is when the hotels put up their tinsel and trees and decorations, and everyone has turkey and Christmas dinners regardless of what day it is. So a lot of people come to Blackpool during December for this so-called turkey and tinsel week, or month really, because turkey and tinsel lasts around from the middle of December until early January, so it gives everyone a chance to come. Just going under the tower now, Blackpool's most famous erection, and right under Blackpool Tower, usually on the left, which is called Comedy Carpet, there's a light show and a DJ, and people gather there, but that's obviously been ruined for this year. So yeah, under Blackpool Tower, lots of lights festoon this area, and Harry Ramsden's there. I think that's still open, well, it is during the day anyway. And there are quite a few people come out now, because I've noticed that some people are deciding to live their lives approximately on the WHO, the World Health Organization website. We learn that the corona effect has a 99.7% recovery rate. So 99.7% recovery rate. So some people, as we can see, have decided to live instead of live in fear. So they've decided to come out. Now here we are at North Pier, which is now on my left. I don't know if you can see that. Again, it's all in darkness at the moment. So North Pier on the left, and the War Memorial on the left as well, which is the cenotaph. And just as we pass through, a new part of Blackpool which is being modernised to extend the tram route further. I'm going into where the pubs and bars used to be in the middle of Blackpool here. I'm passing the hotel called the Metropole on the left, which is owned by the Britannia Group. So we all know about Britannia hotels, don't we? So here we are going through into a bit of a barren area for Illuminations, but it starts up again in a couple of seconds. Just round here. Do you feel my turbos kicking? No, neither did I. Anyway, so here we go into the, I suppose, the last third of the Illuminations. So here we've got, or maybe it's the second third, I'm not sure. Anyway, here we've got the Mermaids, and passing the very empty Tiffany's Hotel on the right, and the Claremont Hotel on the right, all closed and annihilated by COVID-19. COVIDated, crushed by the impact of this situation. Crushed like never before. Crushed in a way that Blackpool's never seen. The same with the Park House Hotel. Empty. Usually quite busy at this time. Blackpool's possibly the biggest hotel. No, it's not the biggest. The biggest hotel is the Norbury. But here's a hotel on the right called the Imperial, which has hosted lots of important people in its time. Completely empty. This hotel on the right was called the Ambassador, and that's been knocked down recently because it became unstable, the building. And this very big hotel on the right again is called the Grand Hotel, which used to be the Hilton Hotel, which also used to be the Pembroke Hotel, which is near what they call Derby Baths, which used to be a swimming pool. In Blackpool, everything used to be, and in the same way as I used to be a musician. You're never really not a musician, but if you're not earning money from it anymore, then you used to be a musician, in a sense. I'm still a musician, but obviously with the way of the world these days, a lot of musicians and entertainers have been completely and utterly destroyed. There's a Spitfire, very in a like a ghoulish green, in the middle of a junction called Gin Square, which has the pub, the Gin, on one side and the square on the other, which is some gardens. And we're going into now a little stained glass area, passing the Savoy Hotel, which is another Britannia Group hotel, and some disused hotels on the right there, the New Hackett's, and the Cliffs there isn't disused at all. That's another very popular hotel of the Cliffs, Claremont and Viking Group, which is completely empty, ruined again by the virus, which has a 99.7% chance of recovery. And again, we've got there the Elgin Hotel on the right, very popular place, ruined. Cabaret Bar Mark Ellis on the right, very popular place, ruined. The Doric Hotel, another popular place, and the Sheraton, always full, and now ruined. So this is not really a tale of gloom and doom, it's a tale of illuminations, which are normally not seen at this time of year. So thought I'd give us all a little view of them as we go now into the final phase of the illuminations, which are, this would be the last third, which are the ones on the left, much more glamorous ones, which are sort of pictorial illuminations. So lots of different things there, which I've done on previous videos. Lots of nice things to see on the left, and Alice in Wonderland friezes, and Basil Brush. I can't do the voice, or I would do. And we're going now into an area, this is North Shore, but we're now going into an area called overtaking, called Bispham, and this is officially the end of the illuminations, but they do go on for a little while after this. And did you feel my turbos kick in there? Anyway, so here we've got, coming into Bispham now, a nice last view of the illuminations, and Alice in Wonderland on the left, the sun, the sea, the stars and the moon on the left, and a last chance to say goodbye to the illuminations. Now I think they're on till January 2021, which is one of the only things that's now left in Blackpool. The trams are still running, because in the first lockdown, in the first wave, the trams were off as well, so they're still running very nicely. And as we pass Red Bank Road in Bispam, which is at the north end of Blackpool, we now see a cessation of the illuminations, and that's the illuminations in 15 minutes as we go into an area called Norbreck.